Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. It ends a draw. It ends a stalemate. There's lots to unpack. Should Man United have conceded a penalty when Harry Maguire seemingly hugged Azpilicueta in the box? Should Rashford have had a penalty for a late challenge from Thiago Silva? That's for you, the fans, to decide. The first half was a scrappy affair, which Chelsea certainly won. The second half, for me, a lot of people won't like me saying this, but the second half was a defensive masterclass. Both teams worked diligently to get back into possession whenever they lost the ball. Both teams run their socks off from front to back, no doubt about it. And it was, for me, an excellent football match in the second half, even without any goals. Man United had more attempts. 4 excellent saves from Mendy kept Chelsea in this game. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. But I want your views. I want your opinions. There's 2 things first. Everyone hit that like button for me right now. Smash the like button. Let's get this past 5,000 likes, please, people. Second thing is go into our description below and sign up now to our brand new Football Terrace newsletter and mailing list and never miss a live stream ever again. Go and do that now for me. Over 400 people have done it today. When you enter, we're giving away free road mics, webcams. We're giving away a PS5 as well. So go and do that now. Sign up so you may be able to win the PS5, and we're gonna get you on the air. I would say for me, I'll get my thoughts out straight away. I thought Man United in the second half edged it. Chelsea in the first half were better. Mendy, Reece James, brilliant for Chelsea today. There's no doubt. For Man United, I thought Maguire and AWB especially were excellent. There's no doubt about that. Ollie, did he get it wrong? Starting Dan James, Juan Mata? Probably yes. Probably yes in the end, because we didn't have the quality on the ball to really damage Chelsea on the counter-attack in the first half. So it goes down as a mistake there by Ollie, but he made the right substitutions. We had opportunities to win the game that Mendy was equal to. But I do want to pay homage to both sides, because Chelsea and Man United have both been ripped apart this season for being defensively poor, naive, bad shape, etc. And the defensive performances from both teams were absolutely outstanding. Tonight, whether you're Rashford, whether you are Werner, Havertz, Bruno, whoever you are, the defenders in both teams shut everybody down. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. But I want to hear from you. I know the penalty subject is really going to ike Chelsea fans, but let me give you my opinion on that. Let me just give you my opinion on that. Before I do it, smash the like button, share button as well. Get your super chats in. But let me say this to you right about now. Was Maguire hugging Aspi a penalty? Yes. But there is a however coming. How often do you see defenders can see penalties for pulling shirts from corners and free kicks? It's as rare as rocking horse poo. So I get why you want it as a Chelsea fan, but trust me, you are going to do that in nearly every single game you play in and never concede a penalty for it. The biggest shock for me in football is when the penalties are given. But was it a foul? Absolutely. Was Thiago's a foul on Rashford? Absolutely. So that's 1-1. Neither of us got the penalty. For me, there's no refereeing decisions to moan about. Tonight, I think we should bask in the glory of wonderful defensive performances, but I'm sure people don't want to do that. We're going to jump into some of your calls now. Make sure you're hitting like buttons, share buttons, retweet buttons as well. We've got some super chats here, actually. First one from Christopher said, man of the match for me is Mendy for Chelsea. Any of our other goalkeepers we would have lost. Signing of the window for Chelsea already. Another comment here says, Man United has yet to win at home a home game this season. That is very true and worrying. But defensively tonight, I can walk away from this saying, in the last 3 games, we've fixed our defense. Looks like we've fixed our defensive issues. Chelsea the same. Chelsea being this team that are going to continue conceding, not with this back line, not with this goalkeeper to the same degree as last season. And that has to be a positive. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Before we jump into the calls, though, make sure you all... There's 2,000 of you right now. Go sign up to the call list for us right about now. It'd be amazing if you do the mailing list. Sorry, the link is in our description below. Go and get that done. It's really, really important to us that you go and open that and that you get yourself signed up as always. But let's delve into this now. Let's get some of the calls on. I know you're all eager. The link is in the description, by the way, if you want to call. Going to give everybody a couple of minutes to speak. Let's do this. KJ is with us here, mate. 0-0, the game ends. Probably nobody expected. Give me your thoughts, mate.
Yeah, I expected a draw. I scored a draw in the preview. I expected 3-3 though. I thought there were going to be goals galore, but yeah, both teams played well defensively. Both were structured. Both were compact. Yeah, both teams offensively looked a bit slow. It was a very slow-paced game today. Like, I was very surprised. I thought it'd be faster paced, but as a United fan, from my perspective, I'm happy with the performance. It's something to build off again. If we had Ollie made the mistake of playing Dan James, I don't think Juan Mata was the issue. I think more Dan James, because he had a lot of chances to go forward and do something, but he got caught in the headlights as per usual.
Yeah.
I think Donny van de Beek would have been great starting on that left-hand side. It would have been nice to see Bruno Mata and Donny van de Beek behind Rashford, but it is what it is. Overall, we played well. We were the ones looked like we should have won the game, and Mendy made some absolute great saves. So overall, good game for both teams.
And it certainly was. I know I see people in here from both sides. Werner's this, Havertz is that, Rashford this, Bruno that. This is one of those nights where you just say goalkeepers and defenders dominated and were the stars. And when I was watching it, the amount of times, you know, when you watch on TV and you can't quite see the ball's out left, you think, okay, we'll play the ball out wide to Rashford. He's nearly always got space to run into. Every time Reece James was where he needed to be, he had, whether it was Havertz or whether it was Pulisic or whether it was Jorginho, somebody was there helping him. And we were the same tonight. Very rarely did you see our fullbacks or their fullbacks being ganged up upon. They always had some support. Both teams. Amount of times we win it back on their transition, we're like, right, let's go counter. Within seconds, they're all behind the ball, and then we'd lose the ball, and then we'd all be back behind it again. Both teams work so hard, and I know fans want to see goals, but sometimes you have to just sit there in awe. And I thought, from a United point of view, Maguire's positioning and AWB something. The amount of times you see the through ball, you think, oh no, it's coming, and they would stop it. I thought it was
and Lindelof, fam. We call him Lindelof normally. He had one of his best game this season. Like he was solid. I remember that one breakaway where it looked like Werner and Havertz were going to combine to score, but Lindelof was there, slowed it down, got the tackle in, and played it off. So overall, Lindelof, solid performance. I'm just looking forward to see how we play with someone like Cavani up front, with Tellers at left back, because you could tell we really lacked that crossing threat from our fullbacks. But that's the conversation for the next game. For this one,
I don't get that. And our fans are saying, "How are you guys happy with the draw?" It's not about. I'm disappointed we didn't win the game. I'm really happy with how we defended, and because we've been so defensively poor this season. So I want to shout that out. But tonight, if we're going to be really nitpicky, I've heard that Terrace has got an injury. I'm not sure if that's been confirmed. For me, if we're going to play 4 at the back and we're not going to have Rashford on the left for whatever reason, then you play Terrace on that left-hand side, because Dan James was just a passenger in that first half, and I thought it really damaged us on the transition as an example. But overall, pretty good. KJ, we're going to jump on some other callers, do group chat a little bit later, mate. Chat to you in a little while, mate. Cheers.
Yeah. KJ, also, remember, guys, Midnight Vibes tomorrow night.
Yes.
Let's go for it, fam.
Thank you for you're tuning in. Listen, everyone who's watching right now, hit the like and share button for us. The like button's really, really important. Get your super chats in as well. Sammy said, brilliant game for a 0-0. Silva was amazing. Yes, he was. Next up on the show, we have got Ches. Ches is now with us. What you saying, mate? You're on mute, bruv. There we go. There, you're back on mute. There, you're off now. There we go. Cool. Yeah, cool. What did you make it from a Chelsea point of view? What did you make of the game, bruv?
I think it's a solid game. Mendy, I told everybody in group chat that, Mendy and Silva at the back makes our team instantly better. And people that are Lampard, we had this conversation with that Lampard's to blame. I was like, waiting till the personnel come back and then we can assess it. And 3 games now they've played and they've all kept a clean sheet. So I'm gassed about that. In terms of what KJ was saying as well about defensively, we were solid, but offensively we were slow. I'm not really happy how, although we're improving defensively, offensively we're not doing the same, and I need a bit of a balance moving forward. But same with United, to be fair.
Well, yeah, I mean, tonight I want to respect the attackers by saying tonight was defensive brilliance, and it wasn't even about like attempts. Like we had 2 or 3 more attempts. You didn't really have. I would say Chelsea didn't have one clean cut chance all night.
No, we didn't.
which I don't even put down to your players. You had opportunities where I thought they were coming. Think, the through ball's about to come in, or the cross is going to make it. And every single time a Man United defender either cleared it, blocked it, or intercepted it. That's amazing. The same as you. The amount of times I thought, right, we've won the ball back, we're going to counter. And then it was like you had 12 players on the pitch. It was annoying me. It was one of those, but I do like good defensive displays because I think we always forget about that element of the game. And trust me, if Chelsea and United could defend this well in 95% of their games, they could win the league.
No, 100%. As long as obviously the thing about this season is going to be loads of injuries. But like you're saying, like, if we can keep this form going, especially Chelsea, and obviously you guys are in decent form now. You've got 2 wins in a draw against big opposition. You've got Leipzig coming up. We've got biggest coming up to the 2. That is quite good looking forward. But the issue is, I don't think there was a balance today. And like you said, you guys had 2 kick chances. And let's talk about Mendy for a second. Mendy, I don't think Kepa's going to play anymore. I don't think so.
I mean, Mendy with his feet looks suspect. But in terms of
shots, you're talking about distribution.
He's up there. I mean, that Rashford at the end, I thought it was in. And Kepa ain't saving that.
He's not. 100%. I said my friends, he's not saving that. It would have gone in and we would have been angry and blaming him for the match. So, and that's the difference between where Chelsea have been, where they have over the last year or so to now. You've drawn and lost so many games because of saves that should be getting made in terms of that. But cheers, bro. I appreciate you coming on, having your say. We're going to jump on some more calls. See you in a bit, my brother. Next up is Jem. Jem's with us now, bro. How was that game for you? Are you sore about the penalty?
A little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I did think it was a bit of a WWE arm wrestle, chokehold to the floor. Like, to be honest, it's one of them ones that I feel like we should have got it, but then, like, if it was Man United, it would have been sort of the same thing as well. Like, I would have probably said, yeah, it was a penalty. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, they're given and they ain't given. So it's just one of them ones, isn't it? With the one with Marcus Rashford, don't think that was as clear as the Maguire one. Yes, there was contact. I get there was contact, but for me, it wasn't as clear cut.
I think we all know, having watched football for so long, there are some fouls, depending on where they happen in the pitch, they're given. Did you see at the end when we tried to counter and Mason Greenwood went into the back of whoever your defender was?
Yeah.
Me, if that's like a defender doing that to an attacker, where the attacker's in the defensive box, they don't give a penalty for that. They do the attacker for obstruction. There are certain fouls that happen in reverse. What Silva did to Rashford is a foul in the middle of the pitch. Equally, if an attacker does what I can't remember his name, Maguire did, every time they give a foul for that. It's weird. Like, I think what Maguire did was 100% a foul. But I would say for every 10 of them that happen in the Premier League, even less than 1 is given as penalties. So it's one of those things where it feels harsh when it's to your team, but you'll get away with one next week that's exactly the same.
I do think if VAR checked that, they would have given that. If that was actually checked, I think they would have given that. The fact that they didn't do that check.
I didn't check it. I mean, in terms of Chelsea's performance tonight, though, offensively, you couldn't break Man United down at all. You didn't have one clear-cut chance in the match. But were you happy with your defensive display?
Oh, yeah. 100%. Like, everyone was already having a dig at us about spending 200 million and this, that, and the other, and we should have scored, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, we've struggled with defending, and that's obvious. We've conceded a lot of goals. So the fact that we've had 3 clean sheets with Mendy and Thiago Silva in the team, I'm happy. You don't go into Old Trafford and getting a draw is not a shameful thing. Chelsea wasn't expected to go there and win. So I'm happy that we drew the game. It's better than losing, and we move forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, mate, I totally agree with you, Jem. Thank you very much for coming on, bro. We're going to jump into some more calls now. Thank you very much. Next up is man like Cameron. Bro, what did you make of Man United today?
Defensively strong. Our structure was proper. Like, the structure, that was one thing I wanted to see from this game, was to see if we could keep a shape. And you could tell that's why Chelsea was doing so much back passing and side passing. They're trying to move us around, and we didn't break at all. We didn't do much offensively, but our center backs, Maguire was a wall today. Like, he literally I got to a point where normally you're worried, and then I got to a point where I was like, okay, he's in the space, it's not getting near the goal. They didn't have a clear cut chance, as you said, like not even like remotely clear cut today, which Chelsea normally produces at least 3 or 4 a game. So that's kudos to Ollie. Like, at the end of the day, it is a top 6 match, and we've forgotten, with the way the Prem's gone, that these matches do sometimes end up like this. It normally takes a a mistake or something brilliant, which I mean Rashford almost did at the end. So
yeah, well, I think what I would
save.
say is I'd prefer a 0-0 where your defense has been amazing over a 3-3 where our defense got exposed 3 times.
Yeah,
Because
every
if
time.
you have to get those goals, there's something to build. What I would say to build, I know there's going to be a lot of negative United. There are things to be disappointed with tonight. Some of the personnel in the starting lineup, I wouldn't have personally gone with. I thought all the substitutions were right because of what we started with. It meant Donny van der Beek couldn't end up coming on because of the play out of the game. But what I will be very positive about is 3 games running where defensively we have looked almost exemplary, and you can build from that. You truly can build from that as a team moving forward. What do you think the reaction of Man United fans is going to be to this draw tonight? Do you think it'll be a negativity? Do you think it's going to be positive? Because one thing I saw was this, brother. I want to put this out there. Maguire had an amazing game. I saw United fans attacking him at half time. Like, oh my God, he nearly gave away a penalty. He's so clueless. He's such a liability. And I'm sitting there thinking, I thought it was very straight. It was see-through, transparent as a window. I was like, his foul was a foul. But it's a foul that every single centre-back commits every single game, at every single club, at every single level of football. And I'm sitting there thinking, you're trying to twist that into a calamity that didn't really happen because you're trying to give him an L even when he doesn't deserve an L. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's going to be weird. I think at the end of the day, we've come to just expect it from fans. They're going to find a reason to come at They're going to find a reason to come at Pogba for this game. They're going to find a reason to come at whoever. I think the reaction should be positive because at the end of the day, we didn't lose a game. We dropped 2 points, yes, but a draw with Chelsea at the start of the year, you're always going to say that's a likely scenario, at least one of the games. Now we just have to win on the return. I think the one thing I would like to see is never see Daniel James in the lineup again. And Donny van der Beek's movement might have been interesting to see in this game because that's how you unlock a defense like that.
That's the only thing I'm going to lay at the feet in the end of Ollie. That on him is Dan James starting meant that Donny van der Beek almost couldn't come on because we had to bring Pogba in. We had to bring Cavani in because of the way the game was going. And then because we weren't winning, we had to throw on another match winner. Maybe we could have gone for Donny. I don't know. But for me, the next game, look, if play Terrace in that attacking.
Play anybody. I don't care.
Anybody, I agree. Yeah, anyone. Listen, Cam, bro, I appreciate you coming on. Speak to you again soon. Take care, buddy. Next up on the show, we're going to have, who we're going to go for here? We're going to go for Ali. Ali Jaber on the show. Ali, who do you support, mate?
Manchester United. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect, bro. Give me your views on the game.
Actually, there are like a few negatives, but there's a lot of positives. If you remember last season, the opening game we played with Chelsea, we were just like sitting back and they have all the ball, even though we won. Today, we just like went like neck to neck with Chelsea, and the possession was almost like 50-50 possession of the ball. And the biggest positive I would take from this game is definitely Maguire. Like you can tell, like he's having like more confidence, less mistakes, and have you seen that pass that he threw to Rashford? I think it was in the second half. That was like really long pass. That was very good one.
No, I agree, Ali. We're having a real bad connection.
Pretty much like happy
with you. It's breaking up for us, mate. I can't really. Oh, he's gone. Couldn't really hear what you were saying, but yeah, I agree. Maguire was absolutely excellent. Next up, we're going to go to Brandon. Brandon, who do you support?
Arsenal.
You're an Arsenal fan. What did you make of that performance from Chelsea and Man United?
I think Man United fans should be pleased, purely and simply because you got to look at it this way. When you played Spurs a couple of weeks ago at home, you got an absolute drubbing. So to keep a clean sheet against a big team like Chelsea and put up the defensive performance that you did, I think is good from your perspective. From Chelsea's point of view, however, now I've been hearing a lot about how Chelsea, and rightly so, they should be going for the league title with the money that they've spent. I can't see Chelsea winning the league title. I'm sorry, but Werner looks lost. Havertz, questionable. I know they've both got talent, and I know they'll both come good in the end. But at the moment, Frank Lampard he's not playing the right system to fit him in. And Chelsea, against a Manchester United team who got an absolute drubbing against Spurs, should be having more shots on goal than what they had. They barely made De Gea even make a save, and they looked a bit off the pace attacking wise. And you know, I can't see it with Chelsea. I don't think that they're going anywhere fast with Frank Lampard.
Do you know what? I understand where you're coming from. I do. Well, what I would say is that as a collective team, they've got a gel. Tonight was one of the best defensive performances I've seen them have under Frank Lampard. And one of the reasons both teams struggled to score is every time we lost the ball, we got everybody behind the ball. The shape was excellent as an example. And I think it's going to take time. I think for me with Lampard, last season, his problems were, I know Kepa's save ratio was bad, but it was just, let's just try and outscore our opponents. I think Lampard needs to adjust to, let's be pragmatic. There were loads of times tonight where I thought we were going to have space to run into because we turned the ball over from Chelsea, and Chelsea weren't going to work as hard as us and get back into position, and they did. And if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be very encouraged off of that element of tonight. The only reason their attackers didn't create tonight was because we stopped them. I don't think it was because they were bad. It was the AWB and Maguire. It was masterclass. I mean, I'm just actually looking at Twitter here. I actually can't believe that Ollie out is trending. I'm actually shocked that it's trending, but it was always going to. I said it the other day, no matter who we beat, no matter who we win against, as soon as we don't win one match, that's what happens. Brandon, thank you.
Can we just, before we go, Terry, can we just have a quick conversation about VAR as well? Because it's becoming a bit of a joke, really. You know, for me, that was a penalty. It's a foul every day of the week. And we're not going to get on to the players for doing it, like Maguire. You know, I've seen people saying, "Oh, Maguire, why the hell are you doing this, that, and the other, blah blah blah," right? But VAR should be reviewing that. No doubt about it. They should be looking at that. If they can look at Rashford's one, which for me isn't a penalty, it would have been soft to give it as a penalty. But VAR should be reviewing that at least, and it doesn't even look like they're doing it.
So, again, it's understanding things. I am not surprised that they didn't look at Maguire's foul. And the reason I'm not surprised is because that foul happens 5 to 10 times a game in every single game at every single level of football. Giving them as penalties, for me, it would be the bigger shock. Not that they're not fouls, but they just go on, mate. And during the World Cup, do you remember in 2018? They were giving fouls for everything like that. What did football fans do? This is ridiculous. There's too many penalties being given. It's just the way it is. And the reason why it was focused on is because it was Maguire doing it. And what they're trying to create is this, it was still a bad performance from Maguire because he should have conceded a penalty, which is just a nonsense to me. I hear your point. It was definitely a foul. But I'm telling you now, they're given one in every 30 times, and it just weren't going to happen tonight. Brandon, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. Super chat here from Jay. Says, it seems it may have been a draw, but I'll take a better defensive performance altogether. Silva was class, and Mendy showed Kepa how to do it. I agree. Next up, Danny, Devil in the Details, is with us. What are you saying, bro? First of all, why is Ollie out trending? I'm confused.
Maguire's trend. I got no energy for that, Terry, today. I got to be honest with you, bro. Like, I can't be bothered. I can't be fighting this battle every week for one draw, one loss. Like I said, as long as there's a chance of top four, you Ollie out guys are going to have to sit down. Simple as that. He's not getting fired until top four is not a possibility anymore. Simple as that. Very quickly on the penalty decisions, right? Both are penalties. This is what I can't stand about football fans. Just because we think something is soft, we can't just say it's not a pen. If like what Thiago did to Rashford's a foul. It's a foul. Should be a pen. What Maguire did is more of a foul, but they're both fouls. Like, it is what it is. Sometimes they're given, sometimes they're not. In regards to the game, you know, that reminded me of like a classic Champions League game where like the first leg was 0-0 and the second leg, nobody wanted to lose. Like both managers cancelled each other out. Both teams were well prepared to stop each other, and they did. And in games like that, it comes down to one big moment. Yeah. And if I'm being honest, Marcus Rashford should have won the game for Manchester United today. That one-on-one he had in the first half, he should have taken that chance. And if he takes that chance, I think we win the game comfortably because Chelsea had nothing.
I thought it was a good chance. You know what I thought when I saw that? It made me die with laughter inside. I was live streaming. But I thought if he took one extra touch, which I thought he should have done, then shot and missed.
Defender would have taken him, I think.
He made the right decision. He just didn't get the shot off. And look, the goalie made some good saves. And if that was the other way around, we'd all be going, "Oh, De Gea." So I'm not really blaming anyone. So the only thing tonight I'm disappointed with was the decision to start Dan James, because I think that led to, because of the circumstances, that led to Van der Beek not being able to come on and be in the game as an example. But tonight was just a situation where both teams defended impeccably well. And I know we hate focusing on it. It's what's annoying United fan. Oh, we didn't create enough. We didn't do enough. But our defense was amazing tonight. For me, anyone ignoring that is off their nut. I would rather a game like tonight. Again, beating Brighton would always. I'm happier today drawing 0-0 with Chelsea than I actually on our performance, not the result, than I was when we beat Brighton 3-2. Because tonight you can build from this. If we play as well as we did tonight defensively in every game this season, we'll win the majority of our games.
Yeah, but this game's not really reflective of how Man United and Chelsea will play this season. Like, both teams were when both teams are more expansive, they won't be this solid defensively. There'll be big tests for both teams moving forward.
Defensively, we've been this good 3 games running.
No, because we've sacrificed a little bit of offense to protect our defense, which is fine. But over the course of the season, the bigger test is when we're expansive, when we're trying to score 2-3 goals, trying to win 2-3-0, how we defend. That would be the bigger test. But what Ollie's done today, he's navigated the fixture list and got the result that was necessary at the moment. After losing 6-1 to Tottenham, 2 wins and a draw, that was needed. For Chelsea, it was the same thing. They've drawn 2 games in a row. If they would have lost, 2 draws and a loss, Lampard's under pressure. 3 draws ain't great, but anything is better than losing. And unfortunately,
I agree.
It's almost like both managers got together before the game and was like, right, I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose this either. Yeah. And they just agreed, I finished the game stronger. If our players were just a bit more sharper in the final third, we maybe could have took something for the game. I think we're still ruining Martial's red card, like not having him available. Like, we're not good enough when it's just Rashford up there. We need Marcus Rashford and Martial together.
No, I get that. What I will say to Man United fans is this, though. 3 games ago, we got slapped 6-1 and the world was coming to an end. No one expected 2 wins and a goalless draw. Excellent.
No one? You sure no one?
And a bounce. Well, okay, I'm talking about the negative people out here. Don't ever put yourself, and I'm talking about other people. You're exempt from this. You're ring-fenced. Nobody expected us to do what we've done, to look good defensively, to be building from the back, to look confident again. And do you know what? On another night, like, we had the chances. We almost put it away. And I think for me, this actually reminded me more of a classic Man United Chelsea game.
Sorry, Terry. I'm seeing some comments in it. Ollie is a useless manager, completely hopeless.
Well, but what's interesting about that, you see, completely useless, but we've defended brilliantly 3 games running. There'll be no praise for that because I don't want to care about that. Comment here says Reece James was class tonight. Yes, he was. He was every defender tonight for both teams were amazing. Like,
how good were Maguire and Lindelof?
Oh, they're just brilliant. And nobody wants to look at that. I remember that, but good defensive shape is pure tactics, patterns, movement, structure. You can't defend like that without that being good. So great advert for those managers tonight. Listen, Danny, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Chat to you again soon. Thank you. Next up, we have got, we're going to throw in here, we've got Gabrielle. Long time no speak. Unmute yourself, bruv. Unmute yourself, bruv.
Yeah, you all right?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm great. Thanks.
What you saying?
Well, this was a board draw. I mean, both teams were playing very not defensively, but they were very cautious because obviously they've had 2 poor starts to their seasons, so they just wanted to not concede goals, which I can understand. I think for people who are panicking, I think in the grand scheme of things, this is a decent result. It's not a great result because obviously you want to win your home games, but it's a decent result in the grand scheme of things, especially because we've got a run of we had a run of 6 big games in a row. So to win 1 and draw 1 to start with is not that bad.
No, I agree. What did you make of the defensive performance tonight? Because in the opening 4 games of the season, our fans were crying, Ollie has no idea what he's doing. We can't stop conceding. The defensive shape's wrong. Maguire's the worst defender in the world. AWB's awful. Linda soft. 3 games running. I know we've conceded 2 own goals, right? But they're just flukes. Defensively, we've been exemplary. No goals conceded in open play or from set pieces. Were you impressed with the way both Man United and Chelsea were defensively tonight?
I was, although with Chelsea, they were playing a back 5. So you can't praise them, I think, as much as United because we're playing a back 4. But on what you said, yeah, I'm impressed with the way we're more structured defensively, because when you concede a lot of goals and when you get slapped by Spurs, you need to go back to the fundamentals of football, which is work as a team, defend as a team, attack as a team. So I thought for the last 3 games, we've defended quite well. And that's a credit to the coaching staff and the players.
No, I completely agree. Gabrielle, thank you very much for coming on, having your say, mate. Really appreciate it, as always. I'm just checking something here, because United created quite a lot of chances tonight. 12 chances created in the game to score tonight. And I want to look at something, because I'm intrigued by it. Because sometimes you get your luck, sometimes you don't get your luck. Sometimes the goalie pulls off great saves. Just looking at something here. I don't know what the answer is going to be when I click on this, but we'll see. Man United tonight had 14 shots. Okay, and we created 12 chances. When we beat Chelsea 4-0 at home last season, we had 11 shots and only created 9 chances. So we were more creative tonight and had more chances to score than we did when we beat Chelsea 4-0. Mad how football works sometimes. Next up on the show, we've got man like Aaron, who's with us here. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
I'm feeling weird, man. I'm feeling weird. I don't know. If you look at it from a different perspective, you can probably say that's a fair result, because both teams didn't really look threatening throughout the 90 minutes, or consistently threatening throughout the 90 minutes. I just felt like the game was there for the taking, and I feel like we could have won this game.
Yeah.
I feel like we could have won it if we played certain players from the beginning. I feel like some of the players that started the game could have been rested. I know, McTominay does a huge job in midfield, but he's played Newcastle for 90. He's played PSG for 90. And I don't know how many minutes he played today, but he played a lot, and he had a lot to do as well in terms of like work in midfield and stuff. So I feel like we could have spared some of the players that played already. Daniel James, I think everyone knows my feelings about Daniel James. I feel like today he was a waste today, because Donny van de Beek could have started the game. And I feel like I don't like playing Donny on the wings, but I think if he would have played on the wings today, on the left or right hand side, I feel like he could have given us a different outlet today. I don't know what people see in him. I feel like his time at United is finished. It's done. I know he said he wants to stay and fight for his place, but I don't see what he's fighting for, because it's just not working, man. I'm trying to be nice here. He's a one-trick pony, and that one trick hasn't worked since last season.
No, and it hasn't. And do you know what I saw tonight? He made loads of good runs. No one even passed in the ball,
because they don't trust him.
And I get that. And for me tonight, that's the only area of the game I've said it already, I'm disappointed with, because it ended up meaning that we couldn't bring with the way the game went, we couldn't bring Van de Beek on. For me, you needed Pogba should always come on first. Yeah. You needed to move Rashford out wide to bring Cavani on, and then we needed a winner. So you'd always go to Greenwood over Van de Beek, in my opinion, in that scenario, and it was frustrating. And I think that's the one area where Ollie deserves criticism tonight. On a positive, 3 games running defensively, we've looked brilliant. Maguire tonight, AWB again, Lindelof. Even Shaw. Shaw stepped up since Terrace has come in. We have to be happy with that, because when we played Palace, Brighton, Spurs, we just looked like we were going to concede 3 or 4 goals every game.
Yeah. I felt defensively today, we did look good. I was very impressed with Lindelof today. He looked commanding. Some of the balls that were played over the top, there were balls that were played, long balls that were played, and, he knows a player is about to control it, with whether it's with his head or feet or wherever it is, and he would just come in between and literally throw himself into that 50-50, which is something we're not used to seeing from Lindelof. So today, I've got to give credit to Lindelof, because he looked really solid. Obviously, Maguire looked solid as well. Wan-Bissaka making crucial blocks, crucial tackles. To be honest, he kept Werner quiet today. I didn't see anything from Werner. I was very surprised with Chelsea, because Werner didn't cause any threats. Havertz didn't cause any threats. Pulisic was completely silent. So we managed to deal with their attack very, very well. It's just that on our attacking end, we didn't really create much. And for those, obviously, you watched the game on Sky, you could see, like, in the first 15, 20 minutes, we had 0 things created in the half, which was very worrying, because with their defense, obviously Thiago Silva looked very solid today. Got to say that as well. I feel like the game, like I said, the game was there for the taking. We could have scored or at least created more chances. And yeah, I feel like I respect everyone that's going to say that they're happy with this result today. But today, for me, that's disappointing because we literally could have won it.
No, I hear that. I feel disappointed with the result. I think this is where people are too, actually, maybe the phrase right. People are stupid, thick, ignorant, and polarized. And it's when you say, I'm happy with elements of the performance, I go, you happy with a draw? No, I'm never happy with drawing. Even if we play bad or amazingly, I'm happy with the fact, though, that for 3 games running, we've started to sort ourselves out defensively, because that was the big worry for me. Because last year, we had the second best defensive record in Europe, and then it disappeared. And I think for me, that was excellent to see. And I was just looking at some of the stats here, like Maguire, 6 clearances today, and all 6 of his clearances, they don't count as interceptions because we lose possession because he clears it. But that was him stopping through balls, crosses that were coming into players. You know, them against us, there's 24 clearances were done by the centre-backs of Chelsea today. Both teams in that era were excellent, but I agree with you. On an attacking point of view, both teams were dead. It's more embarrassing for them because they had their stars out there.
I see someone here. I see someone in the comments saying, did Cavani play today? Listen, Cavani has proven today that if you feed him properly, he's going to do the rest. Like you can see, as soon as he came on, switched on, movement in the box, impeccable. We've talked about this as soon as he came in.
He had the flick that went out, that nearly went in when he came on, and then that chance towards him that Greenwood created. Excellent block by Silva.
Yeah, because he knows him. He knows him.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe the goalie saves it, but that just shows you in that sort of 20-minute period he was in. By the way, this man hasn't kicked a ball in like 10 months. So if anyone's expecting him to come on and look like peak R9, you're off your heads. But it's, you know, if you, as you say, and where I give Chelsea credit, but also I'm frustrated at them, is every time we attacked, it was just like, there was no space. Does that make sense? And even when you've got Paul Pogba, one of the most creative and imaginative players in the world, he'd get the ball and he'd be looking. And it wasn't a case of us not trying to run. It was, they've got a flat back 5, and then they had their 4. Like every single Chelsea player was behind the ball whenever we attacked, barring Werner. It was so it was annoying. I was like, why are they being so? Chelsea never defend like that. They always got holes here and holes there, but it's a madness. But look, it's a draw. We didn't lose. Like, we didn't get battered. We didn't get beaten up. Like, there are positives, I suppose, in some ways.
We got lucky though. We got lucky that, you know, because that Maguire, that was a stone cold penalty. That was a penalty for me. That was a penalty.
I don't call it lucky because those fouls. I always get very annoyed with Sky and BT when they do this. That foul happens. You've played football, bruv. That foul happens at every level 5 to 10 times a game. People are always pulling each other, leaning into each other, on each other's shoulders, nudging people in the back. It's just normal from corners, bruv. But if you slow one down in super slow-mo and go, oh, why wasn't it? What about when Aspilicueta pushed Scott McTominay to the floor when he was challenging him? There was one in the first half. There was no slow-motion replay. I'm not saying it isn't a foul, but they're never given. That's,
but the VAR has to be more consistent because there's no VAR review for what happened on Aspilicueta in the first in our box, but then that little touch that happened on Rashford, which for me wasn't a penalty. It was just, it's the little touch, man. Do you know what I mean? They're playing this over and over and over again.
There's never going to be a VAR for the for what Maguire did. Why? Because otherwise you're VARing every single corner, because it happens on every single corner. Like people are grabbing each other and pulling each other. Just watch slow-mos of any corner and you'll sit there. Everyone does it. Now, his was extreme because he had his arms over him, but he always, man holding an arm, a shirt, pulling shorts. Like if you watch real closely, you'll see man pinching the back of each other's thighs, treading on ankles. This stuff just goes on in football, and they very rarely give him anyway. But Aaron, bro, I appreciate you coming on.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. See you soon, bruv. Oh, sorry, mate. See you soon, bruv. Take care, mate. Bye-bye.
No worries, man.
Take care. Someone here says headlock isn't normal. Khalid Ali, stop being over the top. Wasn't a damn headlock. He just had his arms around him. Okay. Chelsea players did exactly the same thing. Okay. VAR watches every single corner, but they're never going to give that as a penalty because that foul happens the shocking thing would be to give it as a penalty. Because Chelsea players, I guarantee you, did that today. But you haven't been shown the replays of the corners. I'll have a look at them on Y-Scout tomorrow and show them to you. It is a penalty, but it's never going to be given. Chelsea fans, get over yourselves. You didn't create a chance today. You were shut out. That's it. That's on you guys. That's on you guys. Don't be asking referees to do you a favor. Next up on the show, we have got Flawless. Flawless, what you saying, bro?
Yeah, man, it's good, man. Blessed for having me on. What you saying? You good?
I'm all right. I'm disappointed not to win. Happy with the defensive performance from United today as a United fan was exemplary, off the chart. Loved it. But just shouldn't have started Dan James. Chelsea annoyed me because they were so good defensively. Mendy played brilliantly. Am I angry, annoyed? Not like I have. I feel like I'm beige, innit, bruv?
Yeah. In the middle.
Yeah. How about, what do you make
in the middle? Yeah, it's watching the game because obviously people were going crazy on social media about the lineup. I would have preferred the three at the back, but I said I understood the 4-2-3-1. Obviously, not playing Axel again. Martial obviously is suspended. So, with all that being said, you live and die by your results. If Rashford puts that chance away, Ollie got it right. If Rashford, as he did, miss, Ollie got it wrong. So you can. I wouldn't blame him. I think our attacking players need to do more. Defensively, we were fine. Defensively, United were fine. But offensively, we weren't good. But it was the same for Chelsea. Defensively, they looked good, even though we created a little bit more. And offensively, they weren't. They offered next to nothing. So you have to look at it. Maybe I like the fact he brought on Pogba and Pogba was playing more advanced. Maybe bring on Greenwood a little bit earlier. Yeah, we just didn't create enough. The players didn't do enough today. That's who I'm putting it on, the players, because people will say James should have been taken off earlier, shouldn't have started, but Rashford wasn't good. Bruno wasn't good. Juan Mata wasn't good. So it's kind of like, it's not just him.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I think something I said during the game in the first half, it wasn't Dan James being there's a waste. I get that. But equally, I said it like, and this is where football fans don't ever want to be fair. It's like Chelsea fans, Maguire headlock. But you didn't create nothing else, man. That weren't you didn't draw today because you didn't get a penalty for that. That foul is given 1 in every 30, 1 in every 40, 1 in every 50. Stop crying about it. Your attackers couldn't break down our defense today. You're crying about it. For us today, it's easy to focus on Dan James.
Yes,
and
that's it. Yes,
there were 3 or 4 times where we won the ball back when Chelsea were attacking. Fred did it, McTominay did it, Bruno did it, Mata did it, Rashford did it, AWB did it. The only 2 that didn't do it was the centre backs, and Luke Shaw did it. They got the ball and their first pass didn't find the man it was looking for, and Chelsea was straight back on the attack. That isn't Ollie's fault. That's players, and they weren't like almost happening. It was just awful decision making. So Ollie's system was just let's absorb, let's win the ball back, and let's counter. It's down to the players to deliver in that, and they didn't do it. But listen, I think there's positives to take out of it. We didn't lose. We look good defensively. And we roll on to Leipzig. And then we've got Arsenal next, which is going to be interesting. And how are you feeling ahead of like Leipzig and Arsenal now?
Leipzig, I am. But I'm hoping Ollie now learns from this. Like, all right, let's go back to the 3 at the back. Like I said, I didn't mind the game plan today. It's just the players in the transition didn't do what they were supposed to. Yes, Dan James was poor, like we said, but who was outstanding normally, even when you're playing poor as an attack in the attacking sense, one player stands out, one player is bright. There was all that attacking talent on the pitch from both sides, and nobody stood out. So it's kind of like that's how I look at it. But I want to also Maguire. People get off his back now because he had that header he made. I think he took it off Pulisic when Pulisic was flying in. That's very easy to nod into your own goal because the commentator, I think he thought Werner touched it, but he was like, no, it was Harry Maguire. So you have to give him credit. I've said this, be very reactionary, and Maguire was just a good player out of form, and he seems to have played himself into form. And Lindelof has played 3 good matches. Lindelof has been true,
and it's very, very true. And this is where United fans, I feel like they're looking to be more negative than they need to be after this game.
You know what? I 100% agree with that on social media. And that's why you have me, who is not a fan of Ollie, out here defending Ollie at times and defending the players. Yes, sometimes it is bad, but that result against Chelsea is not. People are going on like we lost. Chelsea is hard to break down a back 3 with 2 sitting and a wing back.
They were really not negative, but they worked so hard. And even Chelsea fans have got to be proud tonight. Every time they lost the ball, they're all behind it again. I'm sitting there thinking, I was actually watching it, and I'm like, you're annoying me because you're being so good in that kind of way, in that shape, and in that form. By the way, if people don't like my opinions and you're going to unsubscribe, that's on you for being weak. I'm not going to change my opinion. It's it's simple as that.
That is so stupid. I don't always agree with Terry. I'm not going to be like, I'm going to unsubscribe and not come on. Like, football's about opinions.
You guys going to be rice pudding somewhere else, bruv. Soft in the middle, man. You know what I'm saying? Rice pudding, no jam. You're rice pudding with no jam, bruv. You know what I mean?
Makes no sense.
Rice pudding, no jam.
But on the Leipzig game, like you said, sorry, I went off on a tangent. The Leipzig game, obviously beating PSG away sets us up where if we do draw that game or we win that game, that makes it an even better result. As long as we don't get beat, it's a very good result. We started now. We set foot. What happened? Did Leipzig win their game in the group as well? I didn't even check. The first game that they played.
I think they did win. Yeah, I think they did win.
They did win. Okay, so it's kind of like so it's looking like, say we beat Leipzig and PSG win, we're 3 points ahead of both of them with 4 games to go. So that's good. And with Arsenal, I think it'll be more like Chelsea, where defensively they'll be solid, and we have to play better in the transition and going forward. I hope Ollie plays a little bit more on the front foot against Arsenal, because I don't think Arsenal are as good as Chelsea.
I think when we play against Arsenal, Cavani will have a bit more game time. Hopefully he'll play a bit against Leipzig. He'll be fitter. I want to see. I mean, Van. I know. I get the biggest area of negativity at the minute on socials is why is Van der Beek not playing? It's like I want him playing too, but it's. I remember this with Kagawa. Do you remember hashtag free Kagawa when Fergie was here? Like that was the thing. Like that might be Moyes' season. It's the new thing. This is the thing with the Man United fans. There's always something new for them to be negative about. And
you took the words right out of my mouth. Just a couple of weeks ago, it was, Harry Maguire needs to be stripped to the captaincy, etc., etc. And now nobody's talking about it. That's not trending no more now.
Harry Maguire was the sole focus. Him and Lindelof, they're terrible. They're the reason we are where we are. They were brilliant today. But Van der Beek will start in the team. Then it'll be now. What's next? It's always the next thing to be negative. And the thing is, it's entertaining because I can see what you're doing. It's obvious. It's like nice try. But you ain't fooling me. Flawless, mate. Pleasure talking as always. Chat to you again.
Always, man.
Thank you, my brother. Next up, we got Man Like Ego.
Yo, what's good, man? How's everything going?
Yeah, good, bruv. Listen, both teams tonight took a leaf out of Arteta's book. Defensively strong, great setup, great shape, didn't concede. Give me your opinions, bro.
You know what? First things first, big up to Chelsea. They actually have a good keeper now. Mendy, he was good. That save that he did on Rashford by itself is as good as a goal for a goalkeeper. He should have celebrated that like it was a goal. They have a good keeper now. And then let's go move to the other side. The VAR decision. Did it even go to VAR? That should have been a penalty all day long, in my opinion, Terry. I don't know about you, but watching that, I'm like, how on earth did Chelsea not get a penalty? I would be fuming if I was a Chelsea fan in that situation. They deserve the penalty for that. He literally headlocked him and threw him down on the ground like he was a kid. What is going on? He was in the playground giving him a noogie. Like, what was going on, Terry? Like, I'm so confused. How is that not a penalty? What's going on? These referees are absolutely clueless.
Let me explain why it's not a penalty. So this is about football knowledge. It is a foul, no doubt, but they're very rarely given. Your defenders, your defenders will watch your game. Are you playing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Monday. Tomorrow, your corners and free kicks will, and it's a variation of things. They will pull arms, pull shirts. They will lean as a player. Sometimes when the player's about to jump, I'm not with him. They lean into the back of them. These things happen on such a regular basis. I'm more surprised that people are shocked by it than anything else.
Terry, did he not stop him from jumping? And they were
not listening to me. It's a foul. I agree with you.
And it's in the box. So is it not a penalty?
Why are you not listening? It is a foul and it is a penalty. But you're missing my point. Then they are rarely given. So why the outrage on this one when what Maguire did pretty much happens at every corner?
This is why the outrage is. Because immediately before that, there was a VAR situation and it took a minute or two for them to look at that. But then the Chelsea situation, which was a lot worse, they went over it like this.
You're still missing the point.
No, I understand your point.
Listen, because if the foul that Maguire committed is committed multiple times per game and they never give it. They very rarely give a foul where a defender is holding, leaning into, pulling on a player in terms of penalty. Very rarely happens. When it does, do you know why there's always outrage? When they are given, the outrage is always, this happens 20 times a game and why this one time have you decided to give it? Watch your team defend tomorrow. I don't have to talk about it. Just watch your team defend and watch how often they're pulling shirts, pushing, leaning into. Happens every single game. That's why it's not checked by VAR. It's so obvious.
Okay, so you're saying it was a penalty, but you understand why it wasn't given.
Yeah, correct? Exactly. That's my point. I'm not saying it isn't a foul. I'm telling you they're just not given. And we saw this in football. And every football fan that denies this is a liar and a prick. A liar and a prick. During the World Cup, when they were giving a penalty every single time a player was even slightly impeded, the whole of the football world went mental and said, stop giving the penalties. There's too many penalties. Every single fucking football fan did it. Suddenly, one time they don't give a penalty. Football's fixed. All bullshitters and all liars. And I can see straight through you. I can see straight through you. All liars. When they started doing this at the World Cup, everyone said, you're going to ruin football. You're going to ruin football. It's mad. Your defenders will do it tomorrow. Man United defenders will do it tomorrow. Chelsea defenders did it today. Just watch closely. Don't watch the game. Don't watch for a goal. Watch for defenders pulling on each other, pulling shirts, hugging each other, blocking each other off when they're trying to make runs. The dark arts can go on all the time. It's mad. It's absolute mad how people are bringing this up like it's a big talking point. It's a little tiddly little goldfish.
Okay. And I wanted to talk about one more thing. Chelsea fans, you guys were saying you guys were waiting for your team to come, and is this your best team? This is your best 11, and you've seen it today against Manchester United. You played defensively, and you guys went toe-to-toe, and there was not that much difference between the two teams. My whole point still stands. This Chelsea team is not locked in for top 4. It's not guaranteed top 4 team. You're the same as everybody else, and understand that you guys are going to need time to fix your team. And Manchester United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, big up to him, because he had a tough decision to drop Pogba again and not play him, and he went with Scott McTominay and Fred, and those two guys showed more heart in that midfield than the whole Chelsea midfield. So Chelsea fans, you might hate what I'm saying, but it's the truth. Those two guys, they might not be as good as Kante, Kovacic, and or Jorginho, or whoever you guys play in the midfield all the time, but they showed more heart than your midfielders. And you guys, honestly, Chelsea fans understand that you guys are the same as everybody else: Arsenal, Tottenham, Manchester United, and today's game shows it. And it's not just the other games before.
There we go. Bro, I appreciate you coming on, having your say, mate. Cheers, gal. Speak to you soon. Last final caller of the night. Man like iTest is with us. iTest, you must be so happy with that defensive masterclass from Man United tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to respond to, because I'm hearing you saying defensive masterclass and how we've improved in our defense. But no, you're not seeing that the only reason why we're improving in our defense is because we're sacrificing the attack. Same with Chelsea. Chelsea haven't really improved defensively. They're just sacrificing the attack. That's why they're better defensively. This game, they were better defensively because they were sacrificing the attack. Same with us. So I don't understand why you're saying that we've improved defensively. And I know what you're going to say next. You're going to say, oh, but look at the amount of shots we've taken. I know you're going to say that I've prepared. So my response to that is that's still not enough against a team that's also defending. They were sitting back as well. So we didn't attack them enough, especially considering they were defending as well. So, and they weren't attacking us. So I don't believe we did enough to break their defense down. I believe this football is negative, and I don't think it's good enough.
So do you feel, when we were getting beat up in the beginning part of the season?
Yes.
Do you feel we were sort of attacking too much and exposing ourselves?
No, I believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he hasn't set up the defense correctly enough. So I don't believe it's because we was attacking too much. It's nothing to do with that.
Okay, I'm asking. So you're not happy. So again, I didn't think we were overly negative tonight. We obviously tried to play counter in the beginning. We were more the aggressors in the second half. Chelsea had quite often 8 to 9 men behind the ball, and it was difficult to break down top players, top team. Goalie made some good saves. So what you're now saying to me is you come on the show and kicked off about us getting beat, conceding loads of goals. When Palace beat us, it was terrible. How can we lose to them? Brighton scored all those goals past us. Spurs embarrassed us. We now have 3 games running where the other team hasn't scored. We've conceded 2 own goals with flukes, really. Defensively shut down 3 teams running. And you don't think there's any reason to be happy about that at all? You don't think that's a good thing? You don't think Ollie stopping us from conceding goals from open play, Maguire looking excellent again, defensive shape looking better? You don't think there's any reason to be positive about that?
It's not like we've improved defensively while we're still being positive in attack. If we've improved defensively while we're still being positive in attack, attacking, but we've improved defensively because Ollie's done something structurally with the defense so that we concede less, I'd be happier. But the reason we've improved is because he sacrificed the attack.
No, he hasn't. Though. We still tried to attack tonight. That's no. Listen, you just don't like Ollie, and you're trying to make up lies here. The team that's just won the league, Liverpool, in the first 2.5, 3 years under Klopp, they were like heavy metal football, all out attack. Then they went and changed their approach. They were a lot more conservative. They still attacked well at times, but defended well at times as well. They stopped throwing away leads. And you've got to get the balance right in games. And Man United, in both the Paris Saint-Germain game and tonight, got the balance almost perfect. We couldn't quite break Chelsea down because Chelsea didn't expose themselves as much as Paris Saint-Germain did going forward. So it was a lot harder to do. But it was about making the changes at the right time. Did Ollie get it perfect? No. One, we didn't win tonight, so it can't be perfect if you didn't win. And there were some personnel changes that we would have gone with a little bit differently in terms of that. But to say that we haven't improved defensively and not wanting to praise Ollie for that just shows me that you're not being objective. You're not reviewing the game in its way, shape, or form. I mean, how impressed were you tonight with Maguire's performance? He was sensational, wasn't he?
He was very good, but then again, is down to us sacrificing the attack because we brought in Fred and McTominay to also give him protection, same as we did with PSG. So that's so yeah.
I mean, you make it sound like a bad thing. I mean, Liverpool have 3 workhorse midfields in front of their defensive line, and it won them a Champions League and a Premier League. You're acting like that Ollie's doing it because he doesn't know what he's doing. But yet, if Klopp does it, I mean, look at the defensive players and holding midfield players that look at the defensive and holding midfield players that Pep puts is put in front of his title-winning teams. What about the midfield that Fergie put in front of Rio and Vidic?
Okay, but we were playing a team that was also parking the bus. We was playing a team that was also parking the bus. You talk about Liverpool, but if Liverpool are playing this Chelsea team that was so as defensive as they were today, they'd attack way more than we did. Their backline would be a lot higher.
I don't think Chelsea were parking the bus tonight. I think that's a very morbid and disrespectful way to look at it. Chelsea attacked and they tried to come at Man United for large parts of the game. What they did phenomenally well is every time they lost the ball, they worked so hard to get themselves back into a position. And for me, all you're doing is like a lot of people on social media this evening. You're looking at it. There's reasons to be frustrated, no doubt. But you're ignoring, again, what you do every single time you call and talk about Ollie. And it's a really good attempt. And I give you props for trying it, but it isn't going to wash with me. What you do, no matter what positives we have in games, you look for the negative and you try and twist it into a negative. Does that make sense? This is what you would do. If it was revealed tomorrow that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the man who invented chemotherapy, you wouldn't say, well done for curing some people of cancer. You would say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's a bastard because he's made everybody bald. That's what you would do, my friend, every single time because you literally despise Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So there we go. Bro, I appreciate you.
That's not true. Can I just respond to that?
Take care of yourself, mate. Thank you, Ites. Bye-bye, my friend.
Thank you.
He does make me. He does try really hard. He tries so hard, but there we go. Listen, everyone who's been on tonight, thank you very, very much. As always, hit the like button, hit the share button as well. Do us a big favor. We now have a brand new landing page that we would like you guys to sign up for. It's for our newsletter. You can see it here. The link for it is inside the description below. All you need to do is go in there. I'll zoom in a little bit closer so you can actually read it maybe. Just give you a little description of what it is, details that we need, teams that you're interested in receiving content on. Sign up to the Football Terrace newsletter and mail list. Now, never miss another live stream again. Go and get that done now. All the information is inside the description below. Go and get yourself signed up. But listen, until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Good night. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon.